Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Aries October 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is as far as October goes, the sun will be in Libra from the 1st until the 23rd. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. There could be a strong concentration of energy, attention, and focus on relationships, open adversaries, partnerships, legal matters, negotiations, compromise, even the grandmother. This could, given that this is Libra energy, these could be done with a lot of, you could say, balance, fairness, being equitable. Dispersing the energy very evenly, perhaps into a number of these 7th house matters, can be done with a lot of charm, tact, diplomacy, can be done with a lot of refinement. Also, some ambivalence and indecision as well might be involved in this. This could be something where you might be really weighing the pros and cons of a number of 7th house matters during this time. So anyway, and it could also shine the light on a Libra open adversary. It could be a Libra sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Libra-like characteristics. Anyway, people, sorry about that. Next thing up, as far as October goes, the sun will be in Scorpio from the 23rd until the 31st, so the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on, it could be on transformation, emotional, monetary, moral support, rebirth, regeneration, taxes, insurance matters, perhaps even matters with occult, the supernatural, astrology, and especially if you are into those things anyway. It could be just an even legacy or even inheritance in some cases. Now, given this is Scorpio energy, well, this could be done with a very willful, resolute manner, very intractable energy. Perhaps with a lot of resourcefulness and emotional intensity, and with a lot of secrecy as well, and not really necessarily talking to too many people regarding these matters. So, and really in a way where it's just very, like I said, a little bit, somewhat some emotional intensity can be in this energy. And anyway, and really and also digging deep, and it could be over matters, especially say with an inheritance or taxes or insurance matters. So anyway, next thing up, people, there will be a new moon in Libra on October 8th. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, for some Aries, it could simply be embarking on a new Libra relationship. It could be with a Libra sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Libra-like characteristics. It could be somebody maybe that's very charming, very diplomatic, about intellectual sociability. It could be about rekindling maybe a relationship with someone 7th house related, such as a grandmother. In some cases, too, this could be about a new period, maybe where you reach a reconciliation, maybe with some open adversary or some legal opponent. Or, it could even be the beginning of a legal matter, perhaps with a significant other in some cases, or the beginning in some cases of perhaps a Libra-like project that you might collaborate on with someone else. It could be something connected with art, with beauty, cosmetology, something that might be connected with maybe something legal, something with the law, such as starting a law firm, something with arbitration, negotiation. It could be something connected with marriage, such as marriage counseling. So anyway, Next thing up is there will be a full moon in Taurus on October 24th. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So, well, this could manifest in a multitude of ways. In some cases, this could be where you become tired, exasperated, full of perhaps somebody with that case of the stubborns or obstinacy at that place you generate income with, and in some cases too, this could be a completion or culmination of perhaps a financial situation, something that maybe is a place where you make money. It could have been done with a lot of Taurus-like persistence, perseverance, and patience. Could have been a money-making project or endeavor. And you might, in some cases too, when you're talking about full moons, this could be about like a revelation or unveiling or disclosing. This could be where perhaps a lost resource or some possession comes into view at this time that may have been hidden. This could be something Taurus-like, I mean, such as actual money. It could be something with checks, with money. It could be a lost jewelry item that comes into view. Something connected with gardening, such as shears, something that could be Taurus related. So anyway, next thing up is Mercury will be in Libra as far as October goes, from the 1st until the 9th. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, it could be a period where you might find yourself being more loquacious with a significant other or grandmother, marriage partner, and it could be talking about legalities, Libra-like things. You might be finding yourself mentally weighing the pros and cons on many issues with 7th house people at this time. As I've stated previously, keep in mind that Mercury can also be about siblings. So it could be something where Libra siblings might figure more prominently in your relationships. It could be legal matters as well. It could even be open adversaries, perhaps helping you deal with them. I mean, and obviously that could be very auspicious for that, depending on aspects. If Mercury is making a sextile or trine to your natal Jupiter. So, and they could be Libra, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Libra-like characteristics. It could also be where you're going through a lot of ambivalence and indecision over 7th house matters, such as something could be connected with arbitration, or maybe issues with trying to compromise with somebody. It could be over a legal matter. It could be over dealing with open enemies or adversaries. So anyway, next thing up is Mercury will be in Scorpio as far as October goes, from the 9th until the 31st. So the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, you might find yourself having very deep, incisive, provocative conversations, perhaps with a sexual partner, someone you're in an intimate relationship with. It could be someone you're in a shared resources situation with. Also, you might find yourself being more probing regarding 8th house matters, such as insurance, taxes. It could be over, perhaps over an inheritance. In some cases, you might find yourself being more, I mean, when you're talking about, Mercury in Scorpio, it's like really where you want to, you're mentally wanting to get to the bottom of things and digging deep and being very probing. And really, and also, you might be more apt to be able to decipher character compositions of others and being able to see, those beyond subterfuge and superficiality with 8th house people, such as somebody you're in an intimate relationship with. It could be someone, it could be a sexual partner. It could be someone you're in a shared resources situation with at this time as well. And then say if something is going on 8th house related that's negative, such as something with some kind of credit card fraud, you're more apt to be able to get down to the bottom of it at this time, because when Mercury's in Scorpio, it seems like it gives people more that ability to really look deep into matters, and I think that could be beneficial for that. So anyway, next thing up is Venus will be in Scorpio. So, and it will be retrograde from the 6th until the 31st. So the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, you might find yourself, if you're unattached at this time, Aries, you might connect with the Scorpio Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Scorpio-like characteristics. It could be somebody in an 8th house venue, such as a tax examiner, or maybe somebody maybe connected with astrology, the occult, supernatural. It could be somebody in insurance. And it's a time, too, where, I mean, when you're talking about, I mean, Venus and Scorpio, and in the fact you're talking about 8th house as well, this is a time where superficial connections probably won't do any good for you. Probably going to be looking for somebody where you have a very deep connection with, valuing a deep connection, and also too going beyond the superficial and subterfuge in matters connected, perhaps with insurance, with taxes and inheritance. In some cases, it could even be over a death matter, and being able to enjoy the enjoyment of digging deep in those matters. Now, keep in mind, it's during the time it's going to be retrograde for most of the month, so you might be going back perhaps to a Scorpio or Scorpio-like relationship you had that was very, very deep, and something too, or maybe even a Scorpio-like enjoyment you may have had with somebody you were in a sexual or intimate relationship with. It could be doing something with astrology, the occult, supernatural, a Scorpio-like game, such as doing some like CSI or some Sherlock Holmes or mystery type games. So anyway, and also this could be a period too where you value very deep and intense transformation as well. So anyway, next thing up is Mars will be in Aquarius still, so the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time for Aries, well, you might find that situations with friends, acquaintances may be more acrimonious and contentious than usual. You might become angry over perhaps friends, acquaintances, people in groups, clubs, organizations, maybe with some idiosyncratic, bizarre, or unusual behavior. There might be fights with friends, maybe over matters regarding maybe your goals, your aspirations at this time, and maybe some groups that you're involved in. Maybe some don't agree with maybe the groups or club or organization you may be in. This could be a time too where you may put a lot of energy and vitality into something Aquarius-like, such as innovation, computers, electronics, astrology, or other esoteric subjects, aerospace, astronomy, and it could be with friends, with acquaintances, or in some group involvement at this time. And anyway, and also this could be about putting a lot of energy into your future as well at this time, and doing things that are very in terms of planning for the future. And it could be, I mean, given it's Aquarius, a lot of erratic and sporadic energy as well. Anyway, next thing up is Jupiter will be in Scorpio still, so the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, this could be about luck and fortune, perhaps through making a deep transformation. It could be about unveiling secrets as well, perhaps regarding someone you're in an intimate relationship with or sexual relationship with. It could be over a death matter, maybe some inheritance, maybe there was some information suppressed with that you didn't know about, and it's unveiled. And also going beyond subterfuge and superficiality could be very positive for with someone you're in a shared resources situation with, or maybe even a sexual or intimate relationship with. So anyway, And also, too, this could be manifest perhaps in developing a very profound, deep philosophy regarding transformation and death at this time. And also about, you maybe find yourself putting a lot of exuberance and enthusiasm in Scorpio-like things, and it could be something with astrology, the occult, supernatural, magic, alchemy, and also doing it with somebody you're in a close connection with, a deeper intimate relationship with. So anyway, next thing up, Saturn will be in Capricorn still, so the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, you may be experiencing some limitations and restrictions, perhaps regarding matters with your career. It could be over attaining some kind of position of authority or getting notoriety or recognition. It might be making you feel somewhat melancholy or despondent. Also, too, the way this may manifest is that you maybe find yourself taking care of a sickly or debilitated dominant parent, which is often the father. It could be somebody that might be in a, maybe that's in a position of authority. It might be a superior even over you. Maybe someone prominent in your career that that might, and it could be over something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, or the joints. And this could be a time, too, where you might feel like, you're taking on maybe a lot of responsibilities that are career-related. And you may also be, this could be about some kind of sadness or despondency, maybe connected with the public image and reputation. It may be something where you might feel some kind of restriction or limitation as far as that goes. Right now, Saturn can often be about difficulties too, I believe. So it could be something where you might be experiencing some difficulty in that area. And also, too, on the positive side, this could be also about perhaps just simply working very laboriously in order to attain a position of authority, or maybe even or attaining some kind of status and recognition. So anyway. Next thing up is Uranus will be in Taurus still, so the 2nd house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. You might find at this time experiencing perhaps a lot of unusual persistence and perseverance in financial matters. You might notice too that in some cases this could manifest perhaps in Taurus friendships that might figure more prominently in your self-worth, your self-esteem. It could be financial matters. It could be it could be something monetary, and you might find that your finances the situation with them in general might be more sporadic and erratic than usual, and it could be where a change in income can affect your self-esteem and self-worth, and you might be dealing with a lot of financial fluctuations and disruptions at this time. On another note, though, you may find yourself, this could be about the formulation of some kind of new money-making idea as well, at this time. And really, given you're talking about Uranus and Taurus and the 2nd house, that could be something that could be, it's really like the double emphasis on something of a monetary nature. And also, too, you might find yourself doing something Uranus-like in terms of generating income. It could be something connected with astrology, aerospace, it could be esoteric subjects in general. It could be innovation, electronics, or computers. So anyway, next thing up is Neptune will be in Pisces still. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, in some cases, this could be about hidden adversaries, aunts, uncles, being rather nebulous and unclear at this time. In some cases, it could be manifest in maybe some kind of confounding or confusing mental illness. This could be maybe dealing with some kind of alcohol or drugs, which of course could lead to some kind of secret sorrows at this time and even self-undoing. On a positive note, though, you might find yourself becoming interested in something Neptune-like in solitude and seclusion. It could be doing something with spirituality, the metaphysical, which could include astrology, photography, something with illusion, special effects, chemistry, something that could be Neptune-related poetry, even dancing, and also about putting a lot of self-sacrifice into those less fortunate than yourself, such as the oppressed, the homeless, the hungry, the impoverished. So, and also things of being, and be careful at this time, because being deceptive and duplicitous could very likely lead to self-undoing at this time. And you might feel as well that maybe your private life might be dissipating and dissolving at this time. So anyway, hold on a second, people. Sorry about that. Anyway, next thing up. Pluto will be in Capricorn still, so the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but you know I'm going to anyway. Some cases this could manifest in a literal, actual death of it could be the dominant parent, which is often the father. Could be someone prominent in your career, somebody that might have played a strong role in your public image and reputation, if you have some kind of agent or promoter, if you're in that position, especially. Also, it might be where that dominant parent or authority figure might be showing some kind of obsessive or compulsive signs, or you may become overly power hungry over matters with attaining recognition and authority at this time. And also, this could manifest perhaps in upheavals and power struggles with 10th house people. It could be people in a position of authority, superiors. It could be with someone prominent in your career. In some cases, this could also manifest perhaps in a transformation of one's career at this time, or some obliteration of one's reputation or public image. Now, the thing about this is, well, if this winds up becoming where career matter is ended or destroyed or obliterated, remember that Pluto is also, it's about destruction, but it's about rebirth and regeneration. Whatever, something may go away connected with Pluto, it can often be supplanted and replaced because it is connected with rebirth and regeneration. Anyway, next thing up. The North Node will be in Leo still, so the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, you might find, when you're talking about the North Node in transit, this could be about issues one may have to confront or address. And this could be about maybe having to confront perhaps some kind of maybe an overbearing, arrogant, domineering person that it might be a child. It may be someone you're in a romantic relationship with. You might find at this time you might be directed toward being perhaps more extroverted and gregarious in order to increase personal popularity. You may be wanting more recognition for perhaps creative endeavors at this time, or maybe more recognition, be lauded and praised for issues connected with children, things you might do for a romantic partner. This could also be about taking pride and dignity in things that you enjoy at this time, in your hobbies, in your creative interests. And also at this time, you might feel that maybe you're being directed toward perhaps having to be maybe a little bit more extravagant, or something connected with speculative matter, or maybe it could be over extravagance over something speculative, such as some kind of gambling issue that you may have to address at this time. Anyway, next thing up is the Black Moon Lilith will be in Aquarius still, so the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, one way this could manifest is perhaps this could be something where a formidable Aquarius adversary could be unveiled at this time. It could be an Aquarius Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Aquarius-like characteristics. It could be the form of maybe a former friend or an acquaintance, maybe someone you know in a group, club, or organization. This could be too where you might, we're talking about the black moon Lilith, it could be about what could put one in a strong state of fear or trepidation. And given that this is the black moon Lilith, I mean, it's in Aquarius, and you're talking about the 11th house, this could be about perhaps maybe losing maybe that detached, like a detached connection with friends and people that, you mean, and maybe even a stepchild, perhaps. Maybe it's about not wanting to go too deep in as far as a connection with them, or losing your freedom or your independence in terms maybe of your goals, of your aspirations at this time, or I mean, or maybe getting, or maybe just being around, or maybe being connected with friends that are just simply overly orthodox or conventional, boring or monotonous. Maybe that could be a fear, or as far in at this time as well. You might say at this time that perhaps, I mean, when you're talking about the black moon Lilith, it could also be manifesting what was something that might become unveiled or revealed that kind of comes out of the bag, so to speak, that you don't want to come out, but it does come out anyway. Well, one thing that this could be is that, well, looking at this could be about maybe some unusual goal or aspiration you had that you didn't want anyone to know about. This could really, I mean, just something that might be rather unorthodox or unusual that might be connected with a goal or an aspiration at this time. Maybe there was a connection with a friend that you thought was somewhat bizarre or overly eccentric or unusual, and you didn't really want maybe people to know about it. Could have been where you might have been embarrassed about the person, and somehow that it comes out of the bag, so to speak. And also going back to what may put one in that strong fear or trepidation, it could be over, another thing could be is having a future that might be overly conventional or mundane, something that might be just rather ordinary or boring that may lie ahead. So anyway, last but not least, Chiron will be in Pisces, so the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, this could be about dealing with going through some kind of emotional wounds and suffering that could be connected with chaos and confusion in one's private life. It could be about the dissipation or dissolving of a private life. Now, also too, given that, I mean, you're talking about, I mean, retrograde energy. This could also be about dealing, I mean, with healing oneself. Perhaps if the person was involved in drugs or alcohol, in solitude and seclusion, and doing so in one's own private life. And even if there's some physical wounds that could be Pisces related, such as something with the feet or the toes at this time, this could be really an excellent time to do that self-healing, and doing so in solitude and seclusion, in private, and where you're not being bothered or interrupted by anybody. Now, also too, this could be about dealing in some cases with some kind of confounding or confusing mental illness, or even maybe where you're going through some suffering because you're having difficulty in deciphering, as far as being able to detect hidden adversaries, as they could even be very nebulous and unclear. It could be a time too where you may just be, where you might be dealing with some emotional wounds connected with being overly gullible, maybe connected with people that are less fortunate than yourself, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, the homeless, and the hungry, or somebody else connected with the 12th house. It could be over somebody with the metaphysical, somebody in some spiritual realm, or even an aunt or an uncle. But anyway, when you're talking about Chiron, though, it is the wounded healer. So in ways that you may be going through some struggles and suffering in connection with Chiron and Pisces in the 12th house, you may be able to help others deal with comparable problems and situations, and do so with a lot of Pisces, like empathy, compassion, self-sacrifice, and even idealism. Anyway, people, That'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Aries October 2018 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time where I'll be giving you my Taurus October 2018 horoscope forecast. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.